This is Mitchell. Farrell's available again. Now Jackson. Fouled by Goff to try to turn away from the Rangers captain. There's a chance here for Hibs to create something in attack. Stephen Tweed now going into the area again, followed by Hately. Never shucks his responsibilities, Hately, both in attack and in defence. It's played in by Mitchell. Maxwell has come for this. Too close to the keeper on that angle, and he looks very calm, Ali Maxwell. McCall well tackled this time by Farrell. Snapped into that challenge instantly. That's what he's there for. That's his principal obligation in midfield, to win the ball. All players around him. Farrell again. Caught late by McCall. That was a nasty one. Stuart McCall being called over by the referee. Well, not listening to too much the referee had to say. But Farrell took a slow one there as the ball was played forward.
It's a rather reckless challenge by Stuart McCall. I think it's a throwback to an earlier challenge that David Farrell had on him in the early part of the first half. But it's in a position where it's not going to come to any real harm.
So there's Gordon Hunter with the free kick. Yes, remarkable the memories players have. So closing 5 minutes. A very competitive first half. Still no goals. Goff playing it into space there, looking for Ferguson, but Hamilton got there first for Hibs. Well, Jackson got up for that, knowing perfectly well that Dave McPherson was liable to come in behind him and win it, which he did. Mitchell forward, Jackson's offside. Must have been close. Well, always has a word or two to say, Darren Jackson. It's got him into a little bit of trouble with referees over the last year or so. 16 bookings in his Hibs career. So the reverse angle showing that Jackson was indeed offside. Here's Durant. McCall's made a run through the middle. He's a target. Well, had he been able to take that in a run, it would have been dangerous for Hibs. Here's Robertson to Houstra. The angle ball in, won well by Hunter. That's Ferguson. Hibs hoping for an offside decision, which did not materialise. Goff winning that from Jackson. Goff again to Ferguson. This is Houstra. Shown inside. That's the plan, obviously, for Willie Miller. Not to allow Houstra to get in these wide positions and send over too many crosses. So he always shows him inside when he approaches him. Stevens assessing the options ahead. One was Trevor Stephen, but Graham Mitchell read that well. Jackson getting it better than McPherson after a struggle. And crowded out in the end, but Hamilton steps in. Here's Keith Wright. Now, can Hibs conjure up something before half-time? It's back with McAllister. That's a good cross. Only one man in the area there was Darren Jackson. Farrell challenges fiercely against his own teammate, Brian Hamilton. Here's Keith Wright. Goff plays it forward. Ferguson helps it through the middle. Well, that time Hately backed into Hunter, who did extremely well. Now Hibs coming back again. Jackson. Good running by O'Neill. He's still in possession. This is a chance for Hibs. Keith Wright beaten to the ball there by David Robertson. Fine defending by the Rangers fullback. But a good spell now from Hibs towards half-time. Just when they appear to be slipping out of the game, they've come back and look to be a serious threat to Rangers. Farrell timed that well. This is McAllister beautifully sidestepping Ian Durant. Jackson's first touch was clumsy. He's suffering from a knock. As Durant breaks, McCall goes striding through the middle. He knows Houster will appear and he's outside. Good understanding shown there by the Rangers players. So Houster with Miller. Good play by Houster. And it's scrambled out to Ian Ferguson. Well, there is no player Rangers would rather have had at the end of that than Ian Ferguson.
It's a nice piece of skill by Peter Husra. Sends in a nice cross. Jim Leighton's stretch doesn't quite get hold of it, but it falls kindly for Ian Ferguson. It's normally the type of position that he relishes.
Well, beaten away there by Leighton. Hunter did well initially, but there must have been hearts and Hibs mouths there as Ferguson was striding onto that. But Houser did it so well. Leighton committed himself. Was nudged away to the edge of the area. Plenty of players, though, to block the shot. So hold up here while Stuart Colley, the Hibs physio, gives some treatment to Darren Jackson. So Jackson will remain on the field. Half-time approaching. He'll be able to have some additional treatment. Keith Wright beaten to the high ball by Goff. That's Durant. Now Stephen looking for a runner wide on the right there for Rangers. Tweed into the midfield area where McCall wins it. Here's Stephen again. Closed down by O'Neill. So we're into injury time here at the end of the first half. Rangers holding sway in the middle phase. Hibs coming back strongly towards the end. Gary Stevens with a long throw. That's Hateley. Now Durant looking there for Ian Ferguson. And Hamilton brings it clear for Hibs. Plenty of movement ahead. Here's Willie Miller. McAllister wants it played to feet. He's away from Houstra. Into the gap it goes for Keith Wright. That's good play. Keith Wright goes down, and it was a dive. Ali Maxwell gesticulating to Keith Wright, and I think the Hibs centre forward will be booked for that. A yellow card it is for Keith Wright, and from this position that appeared to be a perfectly good decision. Keith Wright could have got to that ball ahead of Maxwell, could have gone on to try to score, but he elected to go down. We'll see it from this angle.
It's a nice pass in here. Keith Wright does well because he's got a real opportunity of rounding the goalkeeper. I think the referee was right, and I think that Keith Wright was just a little bit silly to go down so quickly. If you look at it here, in actual fact makes contact. He gets his space around the goalkeeper. I think he was too ready to go down, too quick to look for a penalty.
Well, referee Jim McCluskey appeared to be absolutely correct there, and that reflects very poorly, I have to say, on Keith Wright, because it was a good goal-scoring opportunity, that. And he was ready to go down as he went to the ball. And I think from this angle again, that'll be established. There's no way, in my view, in which Maxwell made contact. And that was the referee's view. So Keith Wright trying to deceive the referee. And then a penalty kick in that position. Up goes Hateley, climbing though blatantly on the shoulders of Tweed. It's a free kick to Hibs. Well, the biggest problem with that, Billy, was it was a great scoring chance, which Keith Wright passed up.
Well, I think so as well, and I just wonder, Doc, really, if players are wanting to go down too quickly, they want to take the pressure off themselves by going down and forcing a penalty decision on the referee. I think that Keith Wright was a good opportunity, if not to score himself, certainly to set up one of his colleagues for a scoring chance, and I think he went down too quickly.
So the end of the first half, the teams depart. It was full of ebb and flow in the first half. The better goal-scoring chances certainly falling to Rangers, especially when Trevor Stephen began to assert himself in midfield. But Hibs showing the kind of resilience required for cup finals, and this match is certainly still wide open at half-time. It's Hibernian 0, Rangers 0.
Yes, a competitive first half without any doubt, but I think you would have to say, Gordon, that Rangers were dominant.
Yeah, they were by far the better side. Rather disappointing than Hibs, actually. If you want to win anything, especially in games like this, your passing and controlling has to be right. And I think, not even talking about tactics, I think if Hibs don't get their passing and controlling right, they'll be in trouble.
Yeah, it's all been played at a million miles an hour, Murdo, which we're not surprised about, but the Hibs midfield seems at the moment to be overrun.
I think the way the game started for 15 minutes, we had a good couple of minutes at the beginning. First 15 minutes, the ball was in the air the whole time. Trevor Stephen put his foot in the ball and started making passes, and then Rangers started to play. Hibs haven't had that.
Let's take a look at some of the major incidents then, and after about 15 minutes Jim Leighton proved once again that his form is right back to its very best. What about this one, Gordon? Trevor Stephen obviously involved.
Trevor Stephen makes a run, goes to shoot to the right, he cuts back onto his left, I think. It's a great feint, that. He's a great player to watch. And well done, Jim Leighton.
This is Rangers on the attack. Stuart McCall, who hasn't played since the game in Rome, is full of running this afternoon again, Murdo, isn't he?
Yeah, he's looking very strong again today. Here it turned out to be a great cross, managed to put it right into the byline. Big Jim came out looking very confident there, settled the defence down, I think, when these chances were going against them.
With McCall on one side and Trevor Stephen on the other, Rangers are certainly controlling midfield, aren't they?
I think so. I think that's been the key part of the game. I think Hibs haven't had anybody to put their foot in the ball and make passes, get into McAllister enough.
I think what they'll tell you about playing cup finals, it's okay being brave in the physical sense that you want to show the crowd, that your home fans, your own supporters, that you can tackle and win the ball. It's a lot braver to actually take the ball in, control it and take the knocks from behind and play. I think that's what Trevor Stevens and the Rangers players, when they're taking it in defeat. The Rangers start the game, my impression is that their number one status has been threatened by somebody, and they're out to show that they're the number ones. Yeah. They're set about in a really professional manner.
In many ways it's reminiscent of the Scottish Cup final here against Aberdeen, when Aberdeen perhaps started favourites, Rangers looked to be perhaps winding down, but they came out and sheer pride.
I think in the last couple of seasons, when Rangers were getting challenged by MD, the press were saying it's maybe a chance for the opposition. I think today they've come out and they've taken a step forward themselves. They're probably playing better just now than they've been playing for the last 4 or 5 weeks. And I think, especially at the back, Gough, McPherson, Stephen and Robertson look very comfortable.
Yes, Hibs actually haven't threatened a great deal up front at all, Gordon, have they? I mean, this, I think, was eventually given as an offside decision, but it was one of the few occasions when Rangers were under any pressure.
Yeah, I think Hibs are causing themselves a bit of problems. I think what Kevin McAllister tried to do, and probably Alex tried to do, go about the pitch in the first 20 minutes and try and get on the ball. And what's happened, they've lost a bit of shape. You know, when Hibs players in the midfield are looking to play players, they find that they're not there. He's disappeared from the right wing, he's over the left wing, he's into the centre, and right something to pull to be left winger. And I think they're losing a bit of shape and cohesion in there. I think what Alec will probably say, right, we've had enough of that. Let's get back to playing the way we've been playing all season, where everybody knows where they're playing and the players can pick them off rather than the way they're trying to do.
I think a lot of teams now try to stop Rangers by putting two of their forwards wide to stop the two full-backs coming down. But obviously it's not been working up to now. Hibs obviously had a great wee flurry at the end there, but apart from that they've not really shown anything.
Mark Hateley, as always, posing a very potent threat, isn't he?
Again, he was out-jumped early on the first couple of tackles, but now he's beginning to dominate Big Tweed. Here was a great ball in here. The first couple of minutes, ones like that, Tweed was winning. Now Hateley's getting stronger and stronger as the game goes on.
He is an awful handful for defenders, the Gordon, isn't he?
Good player, good athlete as well, you know. I don't think people realise what a good athlete is. And
this is lovely skill here from Trevor Stephen again. And again, Hateley on the end of it. Now, the controversial incident towards the end of the half, which we'll see in a couple of moments, was it a penalty? Was it a good decision by Jim McCluskey? It was a brave one.
I felt it turned out to be the right decision. Obviously, my big pal Keith will not like me for saying it, but I think when Keith has been round the goalies, obviously the goalies came 20-15 yards to run at him at a pace. Keith tried to take it round him and he thought, well, contact will be made and I'll go down. And I felt it was a great decision.
And yet you've seen penalties given for this many a time, Gordon, haven't you?
Well, there's no doubt about that, but as Murdo says, the lads went in there and he's did well. He's went to the ball, he's held his run just a bit, and he's taken it, and he's expecting it. Honestly, I don't think he honestly, when he's making a run for that ball in the first place, he's expecting to dive. I think he's thinking about scoring a goal. But he's just expecting the goalkeeper's gloves to come and take his feet. But even if he did get round there, I was dubious that he would score, because he's actually going away from goals on his weaker side. He's going on his right foot. There's somebody getting back on the line there anyway, and he's on his weaker foot. That was a good decision by the referee.
It was in the end, but a brave one, and the Hibs fans behind us didn't particularly appreciate it. Problems for Hibs, obviously. Gordon suggested that they've got to rediscover their shape in the second half. Would you go along with that?
I think they've got to go back the way they've been playing with Wright and Jackson through the middle. Obviously you're going to let Gary Stevens go onto the ball a lot more, but I think Hibs have now got to play to their own strengths. I think they've hung in the first half, stopped Rangers playing, but Rangers have still managed to make a lot of chances. So a cup final, it's a one-off game, you go and have a go yourself.
Hibs' other problem is they're defending far too deeply in crosses. There was a cross I've been standing terracing for a while. There was a cross I was right in line with it. From about 25 yards out, and Mitchell was only 3 yards away from his own goal line. They should be up. They should be 15 yards out, 16 yards out. So if somebody like Hateley's got to head the ball, he's got to score a wonder header for 16 yards. But actually, Hateley's heading the ball about 6 yards out. And they can play any time at Hateley. They'll need to clear the lines and get them out there.
That's right. The further back you defend, the more problems you're creating for yourself.
It's crazy. They'll need to be psych themselves up and be brave enough to push out and push the Rangers players out there and squeeze the space in front of them. And when they cross the ball, it also gives Jim Leighton a greater area of clearance to come and collect the ball. And I'll say if Hateley does win it, he's heading from 15, 14 yards, and he'd be a great header.
So there we are. Having said all that, Rangers have dominated the first half of this League Cup final, but it does remain goalless. And we, of course, have the whole of the second half coming up live for you very shortly. But also we have some golf for you this afternoon. We even have some rugby later on as well, and a little snooker after all the football is taken care of. But I know that many of you have been watching the World Match Play at Wentworth over the last few days, and let's just update the final for you. Nick Faldo against Corey Pavin. Faldo led by 1 at the end of the morning round, the first 18 of the 36-hole final. Steve Ryder now updates the early holes in the afternoon round, beginning with Faldo's approach to the first hole.
And possibly Faldo's best shot of the day so far. He birdied the first to go 2 up for the first time. It didn't last long. Second hole, Faldo missed a birdie putt, but Pavin made his. And when Faldo hit a poor chip at the third, the match was back to all square. The fourth was the first hole they halved since the 11th this morning. The fifth wasn't halved, and this was the reason why. Pavin with his 4th 2 of the round. Ahead again. Pavin 1 up. But here's a contrasting putt from the American at the 6th. That was for a half. Faldo had played the hole badly, but won it. And this extraordinary seesawing match was all square again. Then at the 7th, well, you're not going to believe this. Faldo down in 4. That from Pavin to win the hole. He struggles from 3 feet, but he's deadly from 30. Pavin 1 up. And at the 8th, Pavin's second shot, par 4 hole, and a good shot. Faldo made 4 here. Pavin rolled in the putt for a 3. Pavin now 2 up for the first time in the match. But Faldo's character and composure amply demonstrated at the next hole, the 9th, putting for a 3 to win. And Faldo now 1 behind again. Only 1 hole on the front 9 had been halved. Faldo at the 10th, 186-yard par 3. And maintaining the pressure. Well, needless to say, Pavin was further from the hole, so he'd putt first, and the inevitable happened. So Faldo, the anticipated putt for a win, is now a putt for a half. And this has become a quite extraordinary World Match Play final.
It certainly is. Corey Pavin seeking to become the first American winner of the title since Bill Rogers away back in 1979. We'll bring you the conclusion of that World Match Play final after the second half here at Celtic Park. Half-time, it's Hibernian 0, Rangers 0. Let's rejoin our commentary team of Willie McNeil and Jock Brown.
Thank you, Dougie. Yes, it's going to be an enthralling second half without question. But Billy, you've been in the dressing room as a manager frequently. What would you be saying, especially to the Hibs players at the moment?
Well, I think the most important thing that Alec will be saying is to say, look, let's get back to playing the way we played before, and the thing that's given us a bit of success. I felt, if anything, that Kevin McAllister maybe wandered just a little bit too much, and I felt they were getting mixed up front, and consequently they didn't have that nice release ball to him to take it to opponents and maybe create a little bit of movement up front, a little bit of opportunity to these front players. He'll certainly maybe look for Michael O'Neill to push just that little bit wider on the left, maybe to try and kill that area that Trevor Stevens seemed to be taking charge of. And equally, he's got to say to his two centre-backs, there are times when you've got no option but to go and meet the ball with Durant and not allow him to get it in front of them, turn with it and make passes. But over the piece, he'll be happy with the way his two centre-backs have competed with Hateley, because I think they have done well. Gordon Hunter, for me, has been perhaps the outstanding defender on the field. Hateley's always a threat, he's acknowledged that, but he's competed with them well, and he's challenged well, and he's tackled well inside his area.
It is significant, though, that throughout the half-time interval, most of the noise has come from the Rangers' end. They clearly have the scent of victory, I think, at this stage. For the Hibs supporters over to our left, they've had a lot more to worry them, I think, in that first half. They've been watching Jim Leighton performing extremely well in the first half, but there's more work coming up in the next 45 minutes as Rangers take the field to a tremendous reception from their supporters. And we're looking very quickly around the side to see if any change has been made. There has been no such change. Remember, Ali McCoist and Alexei Mikharichenko, the outfield replacements for Rangers. And out come Hibs, led by Gordon Hunter. And again, a fast scan through their ranks. Checks up that there is no alteration. Darren Jackson, you may recall, had an ankle injury just before half-time, and they have a ready-made replacement, of course, Hibs, in Gareth Evans, who's performed frequently so well for them. But Jackson's in the usual place, and it will be fascinating to see what tactical alterations have been made. Alec Miller, certainly one of the most effective managers in the country at sorting things out in these situations. And for Rangers, it may well be a case of more of the same, with a little bit of a cutting edge if they're to win this final. So referee Jim McCluskey satisfies himself all around that all is well, and Rangers set us off for 45 minutes, and perhaps more, of course, because this match has to be settled this afternoon. Extra time and penalty kicks if required. But here's Trevor Stephen, who was so influential in the first half, setting up Ferguson. Well, he played that to his wrong foot, if you like. That's a snap volley, and it's very well taken by Leighton. Trevor Stephen showing his menace early in the second half, and Jim Leighton demonstrating again his growing confidence.
It's the type of shot, Trevor Stephen hits it well, but it's the type of shot that can trouble a goalkeeper, bouncing right in front of him. But Jim Leighton takes it comfortably, takes any hint of danger away from it, and lets his defenders know that he's secure behind them.
The layoff there from Durant, and that's Miller up with Houstra. Important challenge that by Willie Miller. He's complaining that there might have been an offside decision, I think. That's his main complaint. Bitterly complaining to referee McCluskey. He'll do himself no favours with that. Indeed, running himself close to a yellow card, I would suggest, as Durant goes across to take the corner again. Dave McPherson on the near post. Goff makes a run with Hateley. That's Brian Hamilton. Ferguson again, playing it wide for Durant. Hunter in the way again for Hibs. That's David Robertson. Right going up with Goff. And Willie Miller standing in no ceremony, thumps the ball clear. Gary Stevens has to play it back to Maxwell. Kevin McAllister putting him under pressure. Stephen, McCall, Stevens. Maxwell's clearance helped on its way by Ferguson. Well, Hibs opening up in the second half with Jackson on the right. McAllister started off through the middle, coming across here to the left to close down Stevens. Keith Wright starting off on the left also. And it's Hateley forward. That's cut off well by Miller. David Robertson finds Houstra. This is promising for Rangers. There's the cross to Durant. Michael O'Neill runs the ball clear. McAllister knew he was being threatened there from the rear by Goff. That's Mitchell. And the offside flag is up against Brian Hamilton, who made a very good long run from midfield. So Rangers in a hurry. There's Stevens. Durant to Stephen. Up goes Houstra! Brilliantly saved by Leighton. Wow, such a surprise. The cross, I'm sure, intended for Hateley, but it found Peter Houstra. And when you see the quality of this header, You'll appreciate what a fine job was done there by Leighton to get a fingertip to that, and it's off the post.
Yeah, it's a real good header, and Jim Leighton just does enough to get onto the post and pass for a corner.
McPherson going up at the near post, and Hibs again living very dangerously indeed. Dave McPherson looking for his second goal of the season.
This is a good corner kick because it's difficult to clear, and Dave McPherson gets in, doesn't get enough on it, but they certainly have got an aerial threat inside that box when the right balls are delivered.
So Jim Leighton again starting off the second half the way he finished the first. Keith Wright's header. There's Mitchell calming it down. Two players offside, Jackson and Hamilton. The Rangers back four holding their line well upfield, showing a good understanding. Back to the recognised best probably, with four internationals across the back. John Brown may have something to say about that when he's fully fit. So Gary Stevens with a free kick, looking for Hateley. That's McAllister, and now Jackson has to hold it up, look for support. That's much too far ahead of Hamilton. Well, the kind of flowing football which has taken Hibs to the top of the league, not really in evidence yet this afternoon. Certainly seen plenty of their battling qualities in all areas of the field, but fluent build-up play, which has taken them to the top of the league, largely absent as Durant breaks into that corner. Pressurised all the way by Gordon Hunter. The throw goes to Hibs. Good intelligent defending that by Hunter, keeping on his feet as he went in there on Durant, who was at full stretch. Robertson's header. That's Hamilton. Keith Wright up there with McPherson. The covering player is Stevens. The Rangers full-backs do a very good covering job for the central defence when required. McAllister goes down. Free kick to Hibs. Near a handful when he's in possession, Kevin McAllister.
Hibs are obviously trying to get the ball more to McAllister's feet, and there we see the typical ability of his is to go past people, but brought down for a foul. But I think Hibs have got to get the ball more to his feet so he can take it to his opponent.
Good judgment shown there by Gary Stevens. The ball had gone behind for the goal kick there. So it is a goal kick to Rangers. A remarkable history of matches between the clubs in this competition. In fact, the only time Rangers have beaten Hibs on a neutral ground in the League Cup was in the first competition back in 1946-47. Since then, in the other three semi-finals, Hibs have been successful against Rangers. So Stephen has found space again on the right. Good clearing header by Tweed. There's Stephen. Stevens to McCall, a good dummy for Durant. Trevor Stephen calling for the ball. Tweed in the way. Leighton's come a long way to play that to safety. Made up his mind early to come for that. Another indication of confidence. Stevens back towards Stephen, but Keith Wright steps in. This is Jackson. Brought down by McPherson. Well, Jackson takes these passes up to feet very successfully normally, and I'm sure McPherson realised that. Jackson trying to get the better of Stevens at the corner flag, and the result there is a goal kick to Rangers. The referee having a lingering eye in that situation to see if Jackson and Stevens were getting a little bit upset with each other. Set out of character for Gary Stevens, and Darren Jackson has kept himself well in check this afternoon. A volatile character. Referee McCluskey has coped extremely well in the match so far. Mitchell's header. There's McPherson. Hateley showing a very good touch on his left foot. Ferguson. Stephen. Trying a little bit too much in that tight position. Well, David Farrell has a word with the referee, complaining about Stuart McCall's challenge. So now, having had no joy from the referee, Farrell turns his attentions to McCall. A few words exchanged, but nothing more than that. There's Mitchell. Hustled by McCall. Hunter. Through the gap it goes. Down goes Jackson. Advantage will apply as Hamilton breaks. That was McPherson in full stretch. O'Neill went in behind him. Another indication the referee wants this match to flow. Farrell. O'Neill. Farrell again. Jackson this time. That goes astray. Played with the stocking soles there by Jackson, who's lost his right boot. Good play there by Hamilton, winning the ball from Durant, who complains that he didn't get a call. But tell him that he was being closed down so swiftly by Hamilton. Farrell nudging it wide. McAllister now on the right touchline. Willie Miller makes an overlapping run. He's good in this position normally. There's Bright. Another dummy might well have come off. This is McAllister. Better play from Hibs. Miller has stayed forward. Disappointing cross. Mitchell getting it just ahead of McCall. Going in strongly there on Stevens. Fine control there from McCall. Bundled down by Farrell. Free kick taken quickly. Jackson replacing his boots as play rages on. Ferguson to Durant. Hateley return pass. There's Durant. The opening goal for Rangers. Brilliantly finished by Ian Durant. 10 minutes of the second half gone. And this was superb play from Rangers. And it's a goal that has to be said, which has been in the cards for some time. There was Ian Ferguson playing it into Durant. This is his best position, running in defences. Plays it through to Hateley. The return pass goes through the defenders. The ball bouncing there. Durant with great presence of mind lobs it past Jim Leighton.
It's always been on the card. All credit to Ian Durant. Takes the pass, gives it 1-2. Superb control, superb confidence just to lift that one over Jim Leighton's head. But this has always been the danger because Durant gets his ability. He's got this ability to lose his defender. Play 1-2s and look at that control. Beautiful finish. Superb goal.
And a goal which certainly Rangers cannot be grudged on the balance of play so far in the match. And Jim Leighton left totally exposed there. You see Durant was played on by Willie Miller as he made the run. The full-back caught wide, playing everyone onside. So Hibs now have to come from behind. And only one side in Scotland has done that successfully against a Rangers team led by Walter